Next at 4, a demand for transparency by the family of an innocent man killed in a high-speed chase. Why a prominent civil rights attorney is taking up the case.
We don't see this happen to other communities.
Next at 4.
What happened to Gene Hackman? Breaking new details on the Hollywood legend's stunning death in New Mexico.
A family's call for justice. A high-powered help being brought in after a man is hit by a car during a police pursuit.
The party's starter, John Morgan's political play to create a new challenge to Republicans and Democrats.
A new firework from pop star to astronaut. How Katy Perry is getting ready to ride into space.
And a devastating plot twist. A trip to the movies nearly ends in disaster as the roof comes crashing in.
WESH 2 News starts with breaking news.
And first at 4, Chopper 2, just over the scene of a brush fire out in Brevard County. You can see the flames and smoke pouring into the sky. This is north of the Buck Lake Wildlife Management Area, northwest of Mims. According to the Florida Forestry Service's website, this is about 200 acres in size and it's only about 30% contained. There do not appear to be any homes or other buildings in danger at this time. No word yet on how this started. We'll, of course, keep you posted throughout the evening. Also breaking, a family is demanding answers after their loved one is hit and killed at the end of an Orlando police pursuit. I'm Stuart Moore.
I'm Nancy Alvarez. While a suspect has been charged in connection to Gerald Neal's death, his family says the officer in an unmarked truck who engaged in the pursuit is at fault. Now, high-profile attorney Ben Crump is stepping in to help this grieving family.
WESH News' Justin Jecker is live on Indiana Street off Rio Grande Avenue where Neal was struck. And Justin, what is Attorney Crump planning?
Well, attorney Ben Crump and Gerald Neal's family are demanding transparency. They want Orlando police to release any dash cam video or body cam video of the pursuit that ended here. You can see the memorial on the sidewalk where Neal was hit and killed. Now, here are a few more notes from that latest update from Orlando police. There is no dash cam video of this pursuit. The unmarked police truck did not have a dash cam. Also, Florida Highway Patrol has asked Orlando police to not release the body-worn camera footage at this time. And finally, Orlando police say they'll conduct an internal investigation into whether any policies were violated only once FHP completes that traffic homicide investigation. Covering Orange County Live in Orlando, I'm Justin Schechter, WESH 2 News.
Also breaking, a judge has denied bond for the woman charged in a deadly case of road rage. Her attorney says Algeo feared for her life when she shot and killed Mikhail Svetkov at Colonial and Primrose. She claims she followed Svetkov after he bumped her from behind and then drove away. That's when she says he came to her car door and confronted her, forcing her to open fire. She's now been charged with second-degree murder. Also breaking, new details on the deaths of Hollywood legend Gene Hackman and his wife. In the last couple of hours, authorities said those deaths are considered suspicious.
The Oscar winner, his wife, and their dog were found dead inside their home in New Mexico. WESH 2's Michelle Imparato following this investigation for us live in the studio now with the very latest. Michelle.
Well, guys, little pieces of information are just trickling in. And at this point, investigators in Santa Fe say foul play is not suspected. But what happened is still a mystery tonight. Investigators say a gas company says it has been called in to help since they provided the home with natural gas. But according to the search warrant, there is no evidence that there were any issues with the pipes. Now, remember, the Oscars are coming up this weekend, so Hollywood will probably be paying tribute to Hackman, who was one of film's most dependable leading men for decades. Stuart, Nancy, back to you.
Yeah, shocking news to get that this morning. All right, right now, Sanford police are trying to find the man accused of making vulgar comments to girls walking home from school. Investigators say there have been at least 3 altercations, including 2 just yesterday. One around 3 o'clock on South Holly Avenue. The second about an hour later on West 24th Street. Police say in both cases, the man drove up to the girls, made the sexual comments, and then drove off. Investigators think he's driving a 4-door sedan, either white or gray, with a pink license plate cover and an aftermarket spoiler. WESH 2's Michelle Meredith will have an update on this investigation at 5. Attorney John Morgan says he's breaking ranks and starting his own political party. The announcement is also fueling speculation that Morgan may make a run for Florida governor. In a post on X, Morgan said In part, quote, "I am forming a new political party for those of us stuck in the middle. Our two-party system is broken due to gerrymandering and divisive issues, both sides." Morgan would go on to say that his own lawyer is drafting the paperwork and told supporters to stay tuned.
America's trade war over the border and abroad is about to enter a new chapter. Today, President Donald Trump announced tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and China will take effect next Tuesday. The president made the announcement on social media before meeting with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer at the White House. Now, during that meeting, the president told reporters he is confident Russian President Vladimir Putin will, quote, "keep his word if there is an agreement to end the war in Ukraine."
You have to verify because you never know what's going to happen. I know a lot of people that you would say no chance that they would ever deceive you, and they're the worst people in the world. I know others that you would guarantee they would deceive you, and you know what? They're 100% honorable, so you never know what you're getting. No, I have confidence that if we make a deal, it's going to hold.
The president's comments come after the U.S. refused to sign on to resolutions at the United Nations blaming Russia for the war. Live look and pictures from Daytona Beach, where riders will be rolling in for Bike Week. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected, which is great for business, but also means law enforcement is working overtime.
WESH 2's Pamela Combe joins us live from Daytona Beach with how local officials are preparing.
Well, they have increased patrols in the area. We've seen at least a dozen officers only right here on Main Street going up and down the strip. They also have a mobile command center set up right off of Main Street, and the chief says their presence will not only be felt in these key areas, but all across Daytona Beach. In 2024, Halifax Health saw 100 bike-related trauma admissions, 18 of which were head injuries.
When I'm on my Harley, I wear my helmet. When I'm in a slingshot, no.
The chief's message to riders is to not let your ride end with a trip to the hospital and wear your helmet. And a section of MMB Boulevard and right here on Main Street will be closed off starting tomorrow through March 9th to cars, and motorcycles will be the only ones allowed up and down this strip. Covering Volusia County live in Daytona Beach, Pamela Combe, WESH 2 News.
She rocketed to the top of the charts. Now Katy Perry's about to get on a real rocket. The other celebrities joining her on the next Blue Origin launch.
Plus, a real-life dramatic ending at the movies as the ceiling comes crashing down. How close some people came to being hit. Cam.
And we were just live in Daytona Beach. Here's a look at that 12-hour forecast for those of you heading out to Bike Week, which starts tomorrow. Beautiful sunshine with high temperatures in the upper 60s for Friday. I'll show you how the rest of the week will be shaping up, including the upcoming weekend across Central Florida. Coming up.
Closed captioning brought to you by National Floors Direct.
Covering Orange County, a new audit is blasting a contract by one of the county's departments, saying it grossly overpaid taxpayer money for a program designed to help seniors.
WESH 2 News investigative reporter Greg Fox walks us through the report and talks with the head of the local charity that got the money. The contract in question is called a sole source contract, one that is done without competitive bidding in special cases when it's believed only one vendor can do the job. We reached out to the mayor's office to find out more about this odd and expensive contract. We will update our story once we've heard back.
Greetings from space. Take a look at this view. Isn't that beautiful? Intuitive Machines posted these pics online courtesy of its next lunar lander, Athena. IM says the probe is in good shape and preparing for a series of engine firings to get on the right course to the moon. Athena was packed inside a Falcon 9 that blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center last night. Intuitive Machines says Athena is set to land near the moon's south pole on March 6th.
And check out this view also from the Blue Ghost. Firefly's lunar lander is just days away from touchdown, and it's getting closer to the surface. Firefly posted this video yesterday as it continues its lunar orbit. The company says Blue Ghost will reach her final destination no earlier than 3:34 in the morning on Sunday. Blue Origin's also making big news today by announcing its new crew of space tourists.
And quite the crew, right? So many headlines with this one. First, it's an all-woman crew, the first of its kind in decades. Secondly, it's got some big names on board, including global pop star Katy Perry, CBS News anchor Gayle King, and Lauren Sanchez, who is, of course, the fiancé of Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos. Also on the crew, former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bao, research scientist Amanda Nguyen and Carrie Ann Flynn, who has had successful careers in both fashion and human resources. The ladies are set to launch aboard a New Shepard rocket sometime this spring. Blue Origin says this is the first all-female flight crew since Russian astronauts' solo flight back in 1963. So we've been talking all day about whether Oprah will show up to cheer on Gail. I mean, there's just so many storylines there.
I would imagine Oprah would show up when she lands because she's just got to make sure she comes back.
Oh my gosh,
Not only
wild.
are all women, but diverse backgrounds. I mean, it's amazing.
It's exciting. Yeah, all right.
Next thing you know, you're stuck on a tube with Katy Perry and she's singing her greatest hits, and you're like, when do we land?
That's not bad.
It's not bad. All right, the
Take us
views
outside,
from
Cam.
space were pretty, but the views down here are
Guys,
spectacular
can I give you guys some advice? Do yourself a favor, everyone who's listening. Get outside and enjoy the sunshine because we have a stretch of beautiful weather ahead. In fact, perfect weather this weekend. And then we're going to be talking about a warm up on the way. Today, though, wow, look how nice it is. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. Just a few clouds out this afternoon. We are seeing very much clear skies to the north and west. Lots of clouds are to build this afternoon across the I-4 corridor, though. I do want to give you guys a heads up, though. You can see this on our radar. It looks like rain. It's actually a brush fire that's burning right now in northern Brevard County. So you're seeing some hazy skies there near Scottsmore and just northwest of Wims. That is the reason why. Otherwise, very quiet weather as we go through the rest of the evening. I do have that 10% chance of rain just for a spot sprinkle possible with an approaching cold front. Otherwise, most of us are going to see dry skies, so it's going to be a pleasant night to get outside, go for that evening walk or jog, or maybe even have dinner outside if that's something that's in your plans. Tomorrow morning, though, you'll need those jackets. It's going to be another refreshing start to the day. We'll start off around 58 in Orlando tomorrow morning, 55 in DeLand, 56 in Sanford, and in St. Cloud around 57 degrees. Now, behind that cold front, we are looking at noticeably cooler conditions for tomorrow. High temperatures will climb into the mid-70s, which is actually quite on par for where we should be this time of year. 73 in DeLand, 76 in the City Beautiful, 75 in St. Cloud. We'll see a high around 70 tomorrow afternoon in Titusville. Tomorrow's forecast, another picture perfect one. We couldn't ask for nicer weather for the TGIF. So maybe if you can, get outside for your lunch break tomorrow, soak in some of that sun. It's going to be beautiful out. And that's going to be the case for the weekend as well. We can thank high pressure for that. 76 a high on Saturday, mostly sunny and comfortable. That's the case on Sunday as well. And we have so many events going on in Central Florida this weekend. So this nice weather, get outside and take advantage of it. We have the Central Florida Fair going on. It starts tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine there at the Central Florida Fairgrounds. 76 a high for tomorrow. Even in the afternoon on Saturday, perfect weather. Sunday's looking quite comfortable. So soak in some of that sunshine. And hey, if you like this weather all the way through the weekend, we're going to put it in the forecast for next week as well. On Monday of next week, as we head back to work, again, seasonal temperatures staying dry. But as we head into work on Tuesday, though, we're going to start to see a gradual warm up. A slight chance for a sprinkle or two for areas along the coast on Tuesday. Again, that rain coverage is very, very low. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be nice warming up, though, as we're watching our next cold front that should be arriving about late week next week. So we've got a nice dry stretch of weather for us in the forecast, which is great for afternoon plans. But unfortunately, though, we really could desperately use the rain. Coming up at 4:47, I'll show you the latest drought monitor and explain the reason why we can use this rain. But here's looking at our Central Florida certified most accurate forecast. Wow, it's a nice stretch of weather. But watch out, though, with that next front arriving on Thursday, we'll see that rain shower return across our area. More news for you coming up on the other side of the break.
Summer Knowles on WESH 2 News.
Some troubling news for a Tampa Bay Bucs star this offseason. Lawyers for Rachaad White say the running back was the target of an attempted extortion plot. It didn't reveal any details about the plot itself, but the lawyers said illegal and defamatory threats and demands against White and his family will not be tolerated. He also said the FBI is investigating. White has been with the Bucs since 2022.
Meta is apologizing this afternoon for a glitch that posted violent videos on Instagram. Users reported seeing graphic content on Tuesday, including clips showing people being killed or beaten. A spokesperson for Meta issued a statement saying the glitch has been fixed. There was no comment on what caused the material to appear.
Now to a bad night at the box office, and we're not talking about ticket sales. Check this out. This is the inside of a theater in Washington State. The ceiling collapsed on Tuesday night. sending debris crashing right down on those first few row seats.
And they heard some pops and some cracking. And so the gentleman stood up and was like, I better go take a peek and see what's going on. So he walked up towards the screen and a portion of the ceiling fell down. And as he looked up, he turned around and he ran and said, run, to his girlfriend. She didn't have time to get up and run, and the entire ceiling came down. And she was covered in some of the debris and smacked her foot. And she was sitting one row behind it, right where everything collapsed. And had they been sitting in the front row, she probably would have been crushed.
Even more reason to sit in the mid-back. The chief says they were also lucky this happened during the week when the theater is not crowded. Investigators say that man and his girlfriend were the only two people inside. No word yet on what caused this collapse. By the way, the couple was watching the new Captain America flick.
And just in, video also from Washington State of rescuers rushing to save 3 snowmobilers after an avalanche. This is all part of the volcano rescue team. Look at them zipping down Mount St. Helens there last week. Authorities say the snowmobilers rode into unfamiliar territory when 2 suddenly went off a snow cliff into a 100-foot canyon, which then triggered an avalanche. Sounds like a movie. The first victim who went over tried to deploy his avalanche bag. When that didn't work, he went to plan B as snow cascaded over him.
It acts like water when it's flowing, and so that's why the victim knew to paddle his arms like he was treading water and swimming to try and stay on top of the snow. But then once the snow stops, it very quickly gets very hard and becomes almost concrete-like.
Oh, incredibly, all 3 men were rescued. One suffered a severe leg injury.
2 years after her daughter was killed in a police pursuit, a grieving mother has finally seen steps towards justice.
I'm older, and I lost my daughter, and nothing can give me my daughter back.
The charges a man is facing and why the victim's family is pursuing a lawsuit against Orlando police.
And hunting bears could be back on the table in Florida, why some say it won't do any good.
It's our giant 28 Days of Savings event. Shop now at Toyota of Orlando and Toyota of Claremont.
WESH 2 News is there when news breaks.
They're calling it dynamic tolling. Not sure what drivers will call it after they see what it does to their toll bills.
And conditions change.
We have a cold front that's going to move through, bringing us showers and thunderstorms, impacting your evening commute.
That leading edge now of showers and thunderstorms coming on through.
And for our biggest moments.
The Daytona 500 ends the same way it ended last year. William Byron celebrating in victory lane.
For continuing coverage of our biggest stories, trust WESH 2 News. WESH 2 News continues.
First at 4:30, signs of justice for an Orange County family after a deadly crash.
After 2 years, police say they've arrested the man who killed Delmy Alvarez at Paramore and Anderson Street in Orlando. Jacarius Grace faced a judge this afternoon on several charges, including vehicular homicide. WESH 2's Tonight Gebregetigis sat down with Alvarez's family, and tonight they have to feel relieved about this arrest.
Yeah, relieved, but still very devastated. The mother of Delmy Alvarez says she knows nothing will ever bring her daughter back, who left behind 2 children. And what pains her the most is she believes the crash could have been prevented. Now, Lopez is working on suing Orlando police. The passenger who was with Alvarez has already filed a lawsuit against the department, but her lawyer told us he did not want to speak about it for now. OPD says it does not comment on pending litigation, and Grace, he is being held on a $21,000 bond. Covering Orange County, live in Orlando, Saneka Bergadikis, WESH 2 News.
At this hour, investigators in Holly Hill are still trying to figure out what sparked a fire that killed a 95-year-old woman.
Elderly lady. She's going to be 96 this coming May 14th. She's a dear, sweet lady.
Former Mayor Roland Villa lives right next door to that home that caught fire on Eagle Drive early this morning. His daughter was the woman's caregiver and was able to escape before firefighters arrived. Villa and other neighbors tried to go inside to get the 95-year-old out, but they couldn't.
The thick smoke was just so hard to deal with. I tried to go in and go back into the house and just really was forced back out. There was no way to get into the house.
A dog also died in that fire, but the caregiver and a cat made it out safely. The cause remains under investigation.
The city of Winter Garden is offering grief counseling now for those struggling with the death of a father who was killed while riding an ATV. You probably heard about this story. 32-year-old Jakeem Williams died earlier this month. Investigators say 57-year-old Ralph Hensel gunned him down while he rode the ATV around the Bay Point apartments. Hensel is in jail for murder on no bond. The city says as a community they are all hurting and trying to cope with this loss, and they want to help people heal. The free counseling is this Saturday at noon at the West Orange Dream Center.
Right now, the public is paying its respects to the late state senator Geraldine Thompson. A public viewing is being held this afternoon at Majestic Life Church on Kirkman Road. Thompson died earlier this month following complications from knee surgery. She served her community first as a teacher and started a program at Valencia College to help low-income students access higher education. Thompson would go on to the State House in 2006 and later to the Florida Senate. A homegoing service is going to be held tomorrow morning at 11.
American influencers accused of sexually exploiting women have arrived in Florida from Romania. Andrew and Tristan Tate landed in South Florida a few hours ago after officials in Romania lifted a travel ban. The brothers, who have millions of followers online, are charged with human trafficking in that country.
We live in a democratic society where it's innocent until proven guilty, and I think my brother and I are largely misunderstood. There's a lot of opinions about us, a lot of things that go around about us on the internet. We've yet to be convicted of any crime in our lives ever. We have no criminal record anywhere on the planet ever.
It's not clear what the conditions of the release are, but they are still facing prosecution and must return to a Romanian court when summoned. Pope Francis remains in the hospital this afternoon as he continues to recover from double pneumonia. The Vatican says the 88-year-old pontiff slept well again overnight, ate breakfast, and resumed his therapy today in good spirits. More test results are expected to come in later today. The Vatican has already canceled Saturday's audience for Holy Year. It's unclear if the Pope will skip his Sunday blessing for the third week in a row. Some unexpected news on the job front today. Weekly jobless claims jumped up over the past week. 242,000 were filed, higher than the estimate on Wall Street. That matches the highest since last October. And that news comes as an activist group is calling for a nationwide economic boycott on Friday.
The organization is asking Americans not to spend money at major retailers for 24 hours. Lee Waldman shows us what the group is hoping to accomplish.
Well, since it was announced, there's been pushback.
A potential work release center on Cayley Street could be a possible site for an Orlando 24-hour homeless shelter.
Yeah, we don't see a single residential house anywhere near here. So the problem might not be as dire as some folks think.
But now a group has come forward saying, yes, it should be there. They'll explain why next.
Florida's chief meteorologist Tony Manalfi on WESH 2 News. What's happening now and what's next? This is the news that matters to you, and it's right here at 5. Michelle Imperato, Jesse Pagan, and First Warning chief meteorologist Tony Manalfi. WESH 2 News at 5. Local, live, late breaking.
There's no question the number of homeless people in Central Florida has increased. And right now, all of Orlando's shelters are located in District 5. The area is just west of Lake Eola and includes Camping World Stadium and part of the Metro West neighborhood. Now there are plans to turn an old work release center in District 4 on Cayley Street into another shelter for the homeless.
Many groups have come out in force against it, but one is pushing back, saying the city has an obligation to find a place for people to live. On Monday, members of the public are expected to weigh in at a community meeting at Wadeview Park from 6:30 until 8 p.m. Commissioner Patty Sheehan will be there.
All right, Kim, let's get outside with you because it could not get any better out there.
That's right. We have literally perfect weather here across Central Florida. So my biggest advice is if you haven't gotten a chance to get outside and enjoy the sunshine today, you have several more opportunities to do so. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. Bright sunshine all across the board. Really no significant rain in the forecast until Thursday of next week. So yes, this is beautiful weather we are seeing here in Central Florida, and we couldn't ask for anything nicer over the next 7 days. Right now, though, as we take a look at our satellite and radar, we're seeing a few clouds out this afternoon. Really no rain to talk about, but I do want to show you our first warning radar is picking up a line from a brush fire here in northern Brevard County, so you can see those hazy conditions are right now over Scottsmore and areas north of Mims. So if you're traveling along I-95 in northern Brevard County or have friends and neighbors who live there, wonder what's that smell? That is likely the reason why. Evening planner, a few clouds around. It's going to be a nice, pleasant night. We do have a cold front moving in overnight. That's going to drop our temperatures for the day in the afternoon tomorrow, though. But tomorrow morning's looking quite pleasant. We'll start off around 58 degrees in Orlando. 55 tomorrow morning, delayed 56 in Palm Coast. But look at the high temperatures. We reached the 80s today in many locations. Don't think that's going to happen tomorrow behind that front. We'll see high around 76 in the City Beautiful tomorrow, 75 in Leesburg, right around 75 as we go into St. Cloud tomorrow afternoon. Bright sunshine for whatever you have planned for tomorrow. So beautiful sunshine for that morning round of golf, and the afternoon round looks just as nice as well. Upcoming weekend, oh my goodness, it's looking so nice. Hopefully you make some plans to get outside. We have so many events going on. Pleasant weekend, sunny and dry, temperatures in the mid 70s. Guys, when we're in the heart of the rainy season, you're like, guys, I can't wait for the dry season to start. We're in it. So hopefully you get a chance to go in and soak in some of the sunshine the next couple days. Comfortable weather for Sunday. So those of you heading out to Bike Week, it is looking great in Daytona Beach. High of 68 tomorrow with sunshine in Daytona Beach tomorrow. Saturday's looking great with a high of 74. Comfortable conditions on Sunday. We have Monster Jam in town at Camping World Stadium. The pit party is looking perfect at 1:30. 5 o'clock when the gates open, we'll be hovering right around 74 degrees under comfortable conditions. Now, I mentioned earlier we're not really seeing any significant rain in the forecast, and it's starting to have its impacts. Today's latest drought monitor shows most of Central Florida is still dealing with some moderate drought conditions. However, we do have a cold front not coming in until at least the next 7 days. It's going to be Thursday that we are going to see our next cold front roll through. That's going to finally bring in some widespread rain, at least help us a little bit in that drought department. And then behind that next front, again, not arriving until next Thursday, we are looking at a pretty significant cool down for late week next week. So that's why. Go on enjoying the sunshine. Picture perfect weather up ahead. Again, Thursday's when we'll see our next best chance of rain here in Central Florida. We'll have more news for you coming up on the other side of the break.
This is a long time coming, but there is more relief in sight for folks in North Carolina months after Hurricane Helene. Today, the Department of Transportation showed off a temporary 2-lane road that is set to reopen, letting traffic flow once again between North Carolina and Tennessee. The hurricane triggered flooding, which washed out a portion of Interstate 40. Contractors have worked to stabilize what's left of the road by driving steel rods into bedrock below the road, filling them with grout and spraying concrete on the cliff face to hold them in place.
Wow. WESH 2 News at 5 is straight ahead.
Michelle Prado joins us now. What's coming up in our next hour?
Guys, St. Cloud is growing. The city is adding neighborhoods on its east and west to the city limits. How this impacts you if you're one of the 2,000 homes included in the change. Plus,
Sanford police say they are looking for a really creepy man or possibly men who are stalking women. I'm Michelle Meredith with WESH 2 News. I'll explain coming up.
plus, a mystery in Hollywood. Gene Hackman and his wife found dead in their home. The details are trickling in every hour. We're getting you up to speed on the story that is gripping the nation.
Class. on WESH 2 News.